Sir Alex Ferguson is the greatest manager in English football and is arguably one of the greatest managers of all time. He achieved a lot of success with Man United, but ever since he left the club in 2013, they have struggled to mirror his success. In this video, we'll bring back Ferguson in Football Manager 2024. I took a deep dive into Sir Alex Ferguson's iconic career at Man United and came up with 3 core systems that he used to create a dynasty again and again. We started with his iconic 4-4-2 system that won the treble in 1999, and it has not been easy at the start of our first game against Fenerbahce. I realized our first problem is in this Man United squad profile. The class of 96 played a vital role in Man United winning the treble in 1999, but in 2024, the current Man United squad are not suited to the player role that Sir Alex Ferguson used in 1999. For example, back in the late 90s, fullbacks were more defensive and the central midfielders could rotate in a one-go, one-stay partnership. Modern footballers are not trained to play in this pattern. They are more specialized, with fullbacks being more attacking and midfielders having specific creative and defensive duties. To adjust to this, I have decided to replicate Sir Alex Ferguson's philosophy and not just his tactic. So this means that the objective of the system will mirror what the 1999 tactic was designed to do, while adopting player roles that are more compatible to the squad profile at Man United in 2024. It took a while for us to see progress after tweaking the system, but we did. We fired perfectly, and especially against Bayern Munich. I made a slight tweak to the system to better mirror Sir Alex Ferguson's philosophy, and it worked out perfectly. Bruno Fernandes, that was playing in the Roy Keane role, I switched him from playing as a ball-winning midfielder to play as a central midfielder on support. I also converted the central midfielder on the left-hand side to play as a box-to-box midfielder to better mirror the Paul Scholes role. I ditched the fullbacks for wingbacks, as Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka are more suited to play as wingbacks. And to smash Bayern Munich 4-1, we also played a cautious mentality. In our next game, things went south pretty fast. We were 2-0 down at halftime to Union Berlin, and I was forced to put on my Fergie hat and make some changes. We were not playing that badly, so a slight role change for some of the players and a more positive mentality was all I needed to change. We got back in the game and somehow managed to get a draw out of it, but that's as good as it got for us in a friendly against Union Berlin. We walked into our first game of the season at Craven Cottage with minimal expectations because I felt we had a long way to go when it comes to adjusting to this Fergie's 4-4-2 system. We had more possession, but Fulham had the higher XG in the game. Then we scored, and we scored again, and then we scored again, and we ran our way 3-0 winners in our opening game of the season. Oh, hold on. They actually went on to score 1, so the game ended 3-1. Our next test came at home against Liverpool. At this point, I'm sweating away at the backup plan because I sense 1,000 ways this game could actually go. But being so defensive has left us with only 1 shot and none on target. We made more attempts in the second half, but the game stayed goalless until the last minute of stoppage time when Cody Gakpo snatched a late winner for Liverpool. Next was an away trip to Spurs, where we started well, going 1-0 ahead before half-time. The reply from Spurs wasn't instant, but it came immediately after kickoff in the second half. And like Liverpool, they waited until the 94th minute to get the late winner from a corner. August might turn out to be our worst month if we're not careful. Up next was Manchester City at home. Why would you give me Liverpool, Spurs and Man City in one go? I started the game uncautious, thinking it might help, but we soon found ourselves 3-1 down just before the hour mark. Football Manager is exhausting. I switched the mentality to attacking, and in less than 10 minutes we were leveled in the game 3-3. This works like magic. After surviving the game to Manchester City and going away with a point, I felt more confident to face teams with an attacking mentality. After all, that's what Manchester United would want to play. After an embarrassing 1-0 defeat at Goodison Park to Everton, I felt it was time to close the chapter on the 1998-1999 tactic. The transition to the 2007-2008 tactic needed time, so in the next fixture, that was the Champions League game against Lazio, I started with the 1998-1999 tactic once again. We started well, taking the lead in the first half, but in the second half I noticed a familiar pattern from Andre Onana in goal as Lazio got the equalizer from a direct free kick. Eventually we overpowered them, and I learned an important lesson about the 1998-1999 tactic. Applying opposition instructions didn't really help our situation in the game. In the last 3 games, we didn't play that well. I remember applying opposition instructions, but before the game against Lazio, I chose not to apply opposition instructions. We beat Lazio 4-1 in our first Champions League game, so we're not abandoning our first tactic just yet. In the 07-08 system, Fergie leaned towards a hybrid 4-4-2-4-3-3 system, but the 4-3-3 relied on player movement when they were in possession. When they lost the ball, the team sat in a 4-4-2 and tried to win the ball back from deeper areas. We've settled for a 4-4-1-1 system with player roles that can give us a front three and a midfield three when we are in possession. I'm reserving this system for the game against Bristol City. It will also serve as an option for the game against Arsenal in case things don't go well over there. That is the game that is coming up next. To my surprise, we've not played that badly against Arsenal in the first half and the game is going well. We've managed to go ahead 2-0. Minutes later, Bruno Fernandes smashed in the third goal after a corner was deflected towards him, and at this point I have to admit that we got our 1998-1999 tactic absolutely spot on. Gabriel Jesus did pull one back for Arsenal after I switched to a cautious mentality to see off the game, and not long after, Scott McTominay scored our fourth goal of the game to cut off any chances of Arsenal making a comeback in this game. We held on to win comfortably and looking forward to unveiling the 07-08 tactic in our next game against Bristol City. For the Bristol City game, I will bring in some youngsters and players that I haven't really featured yet this season, just to help with the team dynamics and make sure that some of my players get enough game time and no one is trying to plot an agenda against me in the dressing room. Now this feels like a lot for one episode, but the story doesn't end here. We're going to come back with episode 2 where we're going to look at the Bristol City game and we're also going to unveil the 2007-2008 tactic as well as the 2013 tactic. If you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like on it and also subscribe to the channel so you can get notified when more tactic videos and football manager stories do come out here on Dark Horse FM. See you in the next video.